Hello, welcome to my house and welcome to my channel. I'm Laura Cepeda and today I'm going to show you how you can make this beautiful cardigan using your needles. I know that these coming holidays are coming and you need something to wear, so I think that this is an amazing idea. Look, I made two rectangles and then I joined them. I decorated with these fringes at the end, and look, it's pretty easy. I joined them here in the top and then I made this fist too. So well, I will give you the step by step. I will give you the material list and all my secrets and tips, and I hope that you make it. You can make it in different colors, and the best part is that for all sizes, so it will be easier too. Okay, well, remember that before we start, it's important that you subscribe and that you give me a like. But well, let's don't lose more time. Let's start. Well, for this unisex and all sizes cardigan, I will use 800 grams of this material. It's jar number 5. It's a little bit bulky. In this color, it's like bluish, right? And I will use the needles of number 6. In this case, I will use the circular needles, but you can use the regular needles, okay? It's the same. The important thing is that I will use the needles of number 6, okay? Well, let's start. Well, for this cardigan, first we are going to make a sample with 20 stitches, and we are going to use the yarn and the stitch that we will use in this cardigan, so we can have it as a reference and to see exactly how many stitches we need to cast on, okay? We are going to make 2 rectangles, each rectangle of 1 meter, okay? So I will cast on 60 stitches. It is important to make this sample because each person need it different, okay? So you may need more tie or more loose, so it's important to make this sample to see exactly how many stitches you need to cast on, okay? Well, once you know exactly how many stitches you need, well, now we are going to cast on. Remember that I'm using the circular needles, but it's the same if you have the regular needles, well, use them, okay? In this occasion, I don't have it with me, so I will use these circular needles. Well, I will cast on the stitches like this. Remember, I will cast on 60 stitches. I cast on the stitches in this way. I know that there are a lot of different ways, but to me this is the easiest, and I like this way because with this technique you don't waste too much material. So I prefer this one, but like you know, it's okay. Well, like this, I will cast on 60 stitches. Well, we have our 60 stitches, right? So now we are going to make the first row. We are going to need all the stitches, okay? At the end, you must have the same number. So like this is how we are going to knit. Please try not to tie too much, okay? Well, at the end of the row, turn around and we are going to post first, always the first stitch, okay? Then we are going to knit the next 2 and we are going to pour the next 2, okay? We are going to pour placing the thread in front, so this means that we are going to pour, okay? So we are going to pour 2 and then we are going to knit 2, okay? So like this is how we are going to continue the whole row. Well, at the end we will have 1 stitch left. We will always take it making pour, okay? It doesn't matter if we have the last stitch in pour 2, we are going to repeat again. So we will always finish the same. Then at the end of the row, turn around and again we are going to pass the first stitch. And look, can you tell that these coming 2 stitches have this thread in front? Well, this means that these stitches were poured, okay? So we are going to take them as they go. We are going to pour them again. Then we are going to knit. You see, we don't have this thread in front. So this means that the next two we are going to knit them. Then we are going to pour and knit the next two. And like this is how we are going to continue the whole row. And here we finished the row making pour, remember. So now turn around and we are about to start with the next row. See, it's important when you have this thread here of the beginning, we are going to change the stitch. So this means that when we have this thread here, we are going to change the stitch, okay? So be careful. So we are going to pass the first stitch. Now where we pour, we are going to knit, and where we knit, we are going to pour. Well, as you could see here, we don't have the thread in front. So this means that these stitches were knitted. So now we are going to pour them because we are going to change the stitch because we have this thread here at the beginning. So this means that we are going to change, we are going to alternate the row. So now here you could see we pour, so now we are going to knit. So we are going to alternate what we made in the last row, just when we have the thread of the beginning here at the beginning, okay? So that's the secret. And in the next row we are going to knit as it goes, okay? So if we pour, we are going to pour, and if we knit, we are going to knit, and like this we are going to continue, okay? It's important to follow this secret, to see and pay attention where we have this thread, because every time that we have this sign in this side, it means that we are going to change the stitch, okay? So be careful and put attention, okay? Well, like this, following these rules and following these instructions, we are going to continue making more rows. Remember that at the end of the row, of all the rows, we are going to finish making pour, okay? Please put attention in that detail, and every time that we have the thread at the beginning, this long thread that we used to start, this means that we are going to change the stitch, and the next row we are going to knit as the last row went, okay? So if we pour, we are going to pour, and if we knit, we are going to knit, or when we have the thread at the beginning, it means that we are going to change. So where we pour, we are going to knit, and where we knit, we are going to pour, okay? So that's the secret. Let's continue, let's practice. I want to finish this row with you so you can see how it is, and we are going to continue making more rows. Remember that it's important, as I told you at the beginning, each person knits differently. So I'm going to make more rows, but until I have 1 meter, okay? But probably you crochet a little bit loose or a little bit tight. So take a moment and stop and see if the rows that you are making are enough for the meter that we need to make or not, okay? Because sometimes we continue knitting and we are very happy making it, but when we realize we made more rows and we have more than 1 meter, so pay attention, okay? But we'll see you at the end, and I will continue making more rows until I have 1 meter of this first rectangle. Well, look, here I finished the first part, and we have here 50 centimeters of width with 1 meter, right? So this is the first rectangle, and now that we are sure and I like the size of this rectangle, I'm going to bind off. We are going to bind off like this. We will take 2 stitches and we will knit them, and we will come back with 1 loop, you see? Again, we will take the next 2, we will knit it, we will knit them, sorry, and then we will come back with the loop, and like this the whole row. We have to make this part a little bit loose. Well, at the end we will have this last stitch. We are going to take a long thread and we are going to cut. We are going to use this thread to sew with the other part. Okay, we are going to repeat the same rows with the same number of stitches and everything, and we are going to make the second rectangle following the same instructions. Okay, so once we have these two pieces ready, we are ready to join. So let me show you how we are going to fold and how we are going to sew the sides. But well, remember to leave a long thread because we will use it to sew. Let's continue. Well, look, we are going to put these two pieces facing to the same side, remember, and we are going to sew to create a square. Okay, so I will use some markers that will lead me where I need to sew. Okay, it's important to use the markers because at the end I want to have the exact um, pieces joined. Okay, sometimes we move and sometimes we leave one side longer than the other one, and sometimes we skip stitches. So like this, we are going to make the invisible stitch. We are going to take one stitch from one side and one stitch from the other side until we finished. Then I will show you how we are going to make with the rest. For now, let's sew and see you at the end. So now we finished to sew and now we are going to make the sleeves. So we are going to make the armhole now. So I fold in half, and where I have the pleat, this means that it's the exact half, right? So from here, where we sew, where we have the pleat and where we fold, we are going to measure. So I calculate and I'm going to leave 17 centimeters from one side and 17 centimeters from the other side. So this will be the armhole of the cardigan. Well, we are going to take the stitches to start making the sleeve. We are going to use the needles, and now I found my needles, so I will use them. If you want, you can use the circular needles too, but I found this way easier because like we are going to use just few stitches. I think that the circular needles will be too much for these stitches, okay? So, but if you want, you can use them. I will take one stitch from each stitch, okay? From the marker to the other marker where I measure 17 centimeters, and from the other side I will take the stitches from the 17 centimeters from the other side, okay? 38, 39 and 40 stitches. Okay, so we are going to use these stitches to make elastic. Well, here we are about to start with the first row, and we are going to need the first stitch because it's the first row, but we always pass it, right? Well, then we are going to need the next two. So 1, 2, just here I'm having a little bit of trouble. Okay, so we are going to need 2, so here's the second. Then we are going to pour 2. So this is how we make the elastic. We are going to need 2 and pour 2, and in the next row we are going to continue as it goes. Okay, if we pour, we are going to pour, and if we knit, we are going to knit, and like this we are going to make the next coming rows. Okay, we are going to make as many rows as we need according to the length of the fist that we want. So I will continue making more rows and see you at the end. Well, I made 25 rows, okay? I like the length of this vest, but if you want, you can make more rows or you can make less, okay? I think that with these rows are enough. This is the elastic. I love how it looks. Well, now I'm going to bind off, okay? We are going to knit together 2, and then we are going to come back with 1. and again we are going to knit the next two, and we will come back with one, and like this until we finish to bind off all the stitches. At the end we are going to leave a long thread because we will use it to sew the side of the fist and part of the cardigan too, but I will show you. For now let me finish to bind off and then we will fold to sew. Well, at the end we are going to leave a long thread because we will use it to sew. And we will use an embroidery needle. I will use to sew the eye of the embroidery needle because I don't want to damage my, well, the yarn and my project. Okay, so I will use an embroidery needle with a big eye. So I will use it to sew, and also we are going to use the invisible stitch because with that stitch we don't create any pleat. So we will leave this part facing to the wrong side. We are going to take one stitch from here and one stitch from the other side to sew. So we are going to sew all the fist, and we are going to continue with this stitch from here to the side of the cardigan. Okay, so I love this stitch. So from here until the end of the side of the cardigan, and we are going to repeat the same with the other side, making the fist with the same number of stitches and rows, and also we are going to sew to join the side. Well, look, here I finished to join, I finished to sew. I love it. I made the same in the other side too. What do you think? Well, now we will make some fringes to decorate, and we will place them in the bottom and all around our cardigan. I will use this cardboard. It has 12 centimeters, so I will use it to make the fringes. Well, we will use this cardboard and we are going to give 3 laps, 1, 2, and 3, and we are going to make them all the same because I don't want a very puffy fringe. Okay, so I'm going to take them off from the cardboard, and using my hook I will place them and I will calculate the spaces. Okay, so I will place the first one here. I will take all the stitches and pass them through this loop. Okay, so I will make the same with the next fringes. Okay, I will, if you want, you can cut here, but I suggest no because your yarn may damage, or like you want. Okay, or you can make a knot. Well, we are going to make the same. Okay, so we are going to give 3 laps, 1, 2, and 3, or if you want, you can give 4. Okay, like you want. Let's see how it looks with 4 laps. And then we are going to skip 2, and in the third space we are going to place the next fringe. So like this we are going to place the coming fringes and all around our project. Okay, well, now let's see how it looks. Well, what do you think? So easy, right? I love to make this cardigan with you. As you could see, I put all the fringes all around and in the bottom too. And the best part is that this cardigan is for all sizes. So you can make in different colors, and I think that it will be an amazing idea to make it for someone special. Don't you think? Well, thank you so much for arriving till the end of the video. Please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to give me a like, and don't forget to follow me in all my social media. Thank you so much and see you in the coming videos. Bye bye.